Well, greetings, hello, and welcome back. I'm ImperialJedi, it's episode number 9. Hope you're having a great day. And today, I'm going to kind of continue, I think, a little bit with the theme of last episode. We're actually going to push out over here and just do a massive expansion. Maybe even like double in terms of like city size. Maybe not population, but definitely double our size here. So I was thinking we'll save up here for a little bit more thought when we're trying to get the university built. And just a thought process on that, right? I do actually want to use the university campus from the DLC. We right now just have the trade school. I was actually hoping to build the actual campus over here. That one's a big population jump we have to make though. So I was thinking temporarily, especially to keep our offices nice and happy, what I might do in possibly the next episode is a small little in-town urban campus right here, using just some of the vanilla pieces. So we'll get like just the, this university here. We'll put down some cool assets, make it feel kind of fresh. Build a little campus. That one can kind of just be like a little starter, maybe like kind of like a sub-campus, little satellite division of the other one that we're going to build. But yeah, just keep the offices happy. But first we need more people. Let's just jump right in. Actually, I have some really cool ideas. Now, a lot of you, I keep getting the comment coming up that like you're having a hard time breaking out of the grid. So let's try something fun with that. So we put a curve in this road before, right? Nothing wrong with grids. So let's kind of build a new grid, but let's do it after the curve, right? So we'll use this as kind of a way to change the lanes. So we can have another road meet here. We'll go over that later. This can maybe say like attach to a roundabout or something. And how are we doing for spacing? Okay, yeah. I'm seeing something in my mind's eye here. I think we can do it. Not with the small roundabout. Right, so let's build a new grid. Let's start going down this direction. And then we can grid off of here, right? So it's kind of like a grid next to a grid. And then we'll find a fun way to smooth those into each other. And then again, grids, nothing wrong with them. You do get grid lock, so you gotta be kind of careful with how you're closer placing your intersections. But for the moment, for simple, fast expansion, and for the symmetry that will work with the rest of the city, bonus points if we had been in line with this. But that would have been a very tall order to achieve. Not impossible to achieve, but a very tall order. How would you have done that? Oh boy, you probably would have zigzagged a road maybe throughout to keep the shape, but that's like just insanity to think about, so let's not put ourselves through that. Again, anyway, going back to our arterial road thought process in our high density thing, you can kind of see we've got an arterial road, comes in through here, continues, this is the one way, continues up this way, and this is kind of part of the one way cycle right in here. And then we've got continuation of the wider road. So I think what I'm going to do is something kind of drastic. I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to actually go up and over with a bridge. We're going to come across to it, say here. And then that gives us a chance to do some high density, some bigger parks, some cool stuff over here. Get some more height to the city. Oh, and guys, I want to just kind of stress too, I should have mentioned this in the last episode, like high density building is a little bit different than, say, like doing the downtown. Like a downtown skyline, like that's going to be kind of its own episode. What's our spacing here? Like when you're intentionally going for like wall-to-wall buildings and like super tall skyscrapers in height, like that'll be in itself a totally different episode. Okay. Yeah, this is cool. And then we can build this out a little bit more. We have trains come through here. Yeah, this is really cool. But then here's what I was interested in doing, right? Like, let's link these two up. Oh, almost. And I'm just looking to see when I curve this over, see how it's not in line with the zoning squares at the bottom along here? Just look for that. See how it's not parallel with that. So I'm going to get at least one more square closer. So where things get kind of like trial and error moment. Still, I mean, we're getting there. And is this stuff worth it? I don't know, you tell me. I think so. And especially, like, if you're the type of person that wants to do a lot of screenshots, see these are clean, both lines now between. Do lots of screenshots if we're going to build a lot of roads off this, right? Like, why make it that weird bit of crooked that's always going to drive you nuts over time, right? Spend the extra minute, or at least I'd make that argument, it's worth it. And then let's bring this down. Now, hopefully this lines up. Let's just grab a road. Oh, you know what actually might look kind of fresh is if we go from node to node, make it look symmetrical. So you see where the curve happens here? Here's the straight bit. Let's cut across here. Oh, will that let us curve or no, let's just do this. Yep. That is nice and fresh. And actually, I'm going to upgrade that to the asymmetrical road. This is part of the mass transit DLC, this road here. I mentioned that a little bit before. And then what I'm going to do is just halfway through the road, split the lanes up. Kind of makes a nice little islet here too. So we've switched over. If you're turning left up here, you'll probably take the left lane. That kind of idea. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Not bad at all. All right, so let's do a little more grids through here. Let's start doing some zoning. We're going to keep the speed going, so I want to make sure the funds are coming in. I'm actually going to put it on 3 speed right now because I am just broke. Been spending way too much money here having fun. Gotta get some fiscal responsibility here. Okay, I'm going to try and keep people to, like, the arterial roads here. So we'll have people come in if they want like this. Or if we wanted to... how am I going to do this? This might be a little bit close. Nah, with the hill and stuff, I'm not really a fan of that. Sometimes when you add intersections on hills, it'll really warp what you're after. Usually when you delete it, it'll fix it, but you may have to delete some weird nodes that got introduced. Okay, let's do the same spacing. We had 1 tile gap difference in between. Here we go. I think little hints of symmetry look kind of nice, right? And maybe we can have a road that's kind of in line with this one. That's close enough. I'd keep that. The other way, by the way, to do this, right, close it off. I think I mentioned this before, but then just cut a little bit off on each side. Not exact science, but sometimes might be what you're after. And then, you know, where these little imperfections are, that can be the moment where you have the intersection. Not for this case here, but you could like, you know, attach another road, right? Help hide that a little bit. Once you get a few homes zoned in there, I don't think it'll be an issue, though. Okay, we're just gonna leave a little bit of space just in case we want to add some more stuff later. And that could be maybe trees, could be a rail corridor. I'd also suggest not really zoning on the outside of these streets here. This is more kind of like the boundary edge of a neighborhood. Maybe some shopping could go on the outside, since they won't really mind the noise so much. Alright, this is getting kind of fun. Now, these big corners here, we can actually use that for the oversized parks. And then we can help extend the pathways by adding them. And then last episode, I didn't really go over services, so I think we're gonna have to really quickly touch on that, especially since we're like breaking into such new ground over here. And you want to make sure, you know, budget's ready. We're about to put down probably 1 or 2 of each building, so it's going to kind of cut, I think, that in half. So we're going to want to do, I think, a hint of zoning here. And if we look over at our RCI demand, like, we really need residents right now. So that tree, by the way, the first one I placed, it's still there. So that'll count towards the asset count. So just a little random thought, right? If you have a whole bunch of trees and you start putting buildings down over top of them, the game kind of still treats it as there. So if your game is very sluggish, I would recommend maybe deleting trees before putting buildings down. Because technically, yeah, everything still exists underneath it. And that kind of stuff might just use up too much RAM over time, right? Okay, let's maybe do a hint of zoning. Let's bring the power in first. We're going to keep in mind the whole thing about the death wave, so we don't want to be on pause. Also, that's another good reason why we leave the spacing in between things, to get stuff like this in. And then natural disasters DLC. I don't really use the disasters, but I use the props a lot. I won't pop this down in case it breaks the save right now, but earthquake sensor. You can use this on the edge where a power line might end, and then we could, make believe that that is like, a power transfer junction box, little transformer, something like that, right? If you want just a little bit more realism without having to add all the mods, if you're on console, for example. So the DLC packs are very, very helpful in the sense that you get a lot of new assets to work with. I think it's kind of fun to be creative with that kind of stuff too. Okay, so a little bit of high density. Not too crazy because we're not far from the road here, but we're just a little bit in, right? I think I might do a little Y intersection like that, but one-way roads. There we go. Nope. Just gonna pause so these guys don't move out and get mad. I'm just gonna bring the water up. And we still have just about enough. Just about enough for a big expansion. I had that perfect. Why did I unclick it there? And so yeah, just kind of going back to what I was saying before, like a downtown skyline, right? Like that one definitely wall-to-wall high density, right? I'm gonna try to talk a little bit more about high density. Whereas here, it's just the introduction to high density, right? Like we don't want to tax our services too much. Like one residential condo is pretty much like the same as like, 10 houses, right? So it's a very different thought process. And we're gonna always try, like when we do the downtown at least, right? We want to have like a staggered height. We want to have like, the middle of the downtown, the core, just be like the tallest. Maybe some of the most like unique buildings, some of the towers. And they want to scale kind of outward. And we can use things like the IT cluster to get different heights of buildings. It's a specialization you get with green cities. Good time to switch that over too. All right, so that's water. Power will come if we just do a little bit of commercial zoning along the back part of this. And then, we want a detail, so let's start putting in houses with some spacing. Just start that off. Give a little more room for the tower here. Oh, I had a really cool thought. Do you guys remember from the last series? We were doing half episodes, which were like kind of random, and I don't know what the logic was sometimes. I think I like recorded too long, or I still wanted to like keep going, but it was very illogical, right? If you think about it from like a production perspective, right? But now I think like for nostalgic value, we can add them back in, but maybe this like like episode like 9.5. Not that there's going to be one today, 'cause I'm just thinking about it. But like hypothetically, episode 9.5 could be the detailing. So we can have like 15-20 minutes of just like the thought process, the fast builds, whatever you want. And then yeah, switch it over to like really slow paced detailing in case you're curious. And then if it's like, a half episode in air quotes, right? Like you kind of know, oh, it's okay, I won't have to watch it. It's just the extra, it's detailing. It's the same old song and dance we know. But if that's your jam and you need a little bit more help with that, or you're kind of curious, or for some reason you can't get enough of me maybe, who knows? Yeah, feel free to check those out. So if the comments section, if you guys agree with that, I think that might be kind of something we can start doing. And then my other thought too was like every few episodes, maybe like, every 10 or so, we do some cinematics. So like day-night cycles, show off some cool parts of the city we built. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on 3 speed, just so we don't have too many people moving in at once. And let's look at some services. So let's start at the beginning here. I think trash is okay for the moment. It's not fantastic. We're probably gonna have to build a little spot here off the highway or something to help collection in this zone. Oh, this might help. There we go. That might help. So So garbage, let's say, is okay. You can see right here, we're just kind of teetering. We know we're going to have to expand on it, but for the moment, let's just keep it for the, keep it status quo. Water, we are also already know. Same with power. These are already good. Healthcare. Healthcare, we could definitely, since we're doing a lot of high density, justify putting in a hospital. Taller, fun building. Don't want to spoil its view. It looks really, really nice. So this is really cool when you have a slight hill to put it on. And then, from a distance, all you see is this nice, beautiful, big old hospital. I'm trying to think of a hill. Like up here would be super cool, right? A little bit too far away for us right now, but... And then I think another fun spot is like near a park or something like this, right? Like a nice big open space. We can throw down a little bit of commercial around it with the Green Cities DLC specialization. That gets us some more parking lots. And then we can just tie in, the pathways through here, right? Like make a fun little area. Terraform a bit even. Make the Earth look a little bit more functional. That slightly fixes the parking lots too, which is nice. Okay, so we'll bring power and stuff to that in just 1 second. But there's the healthcare in. We'll need the death care as well. Just toss down a cemetery. And we're probably going to want to start trying to reach for 14,000. Now that we're putting high density in, the death waves are going to start catching up with us, And then maybe we can put in some elder care and child care. And let's just kind of do it over here. Nice big old fun building. Oh, no way. That fits below the pathway. No way. That's nice, eh? Yeah, that's nice. As an added bonus, it's using a lot of the same trees, too. Isn't that grand? Look at that, it even connects. So it's basically an old folks home. And that's nice. Go visit Gran and Gramps. Take a little walk in the park here. Very fun. Okay. So that's healthcare, death care, no money. Oh boy.
The only restaurant with the servers are dinosaurs.
Just so I'm not yelling over them. I don't think I can take out a loan. Not yet. We could, if we wanted to, pay this back, take this one out. Gets us a little bit further along, but should be kind of saving money. All right, so maybe we can do a little bit more zoning. Get the power over to here as well. Going for some high density vibes in here. Not too many, so we don't squash the skyline view. I think that's too big. Yeah, it is. Oh, it's 2 buildings. Let's see what that looks like, though. Let's keep them. And then scale this back down. I'd say, if you're in a pinch, you want to get the population up quickly, you're running a little bit low on money, definitely wall-to-wall zone, right? Come back later in detail. And so yeah, the game plan is just like, parks and that kind of stuff coming through here. Parks, pathways, fences. And I think, I don't think I mentioned this yet, but in terms of land value, adding down the decoration doesn't necessarily help with land value. You might get a bit of a boost to the sound barrier. So people might be a little bit happier to live there, but it's more like a visual fun thing. This kind of stuff here, this definitely helps with land value though. Parks and services. Okay, so childcare. Maybe a little bit further away from the graveyard so it's not so morbid. All right, put that over there. And let's try and do like community park vibes over in this spot here. So maybe we can have an elementary school nearby. Maybe we have a high school down at the other end. Basketball court, which I love to use. And I think this is from the deluxe edition. So if you bought the digital deluxe version instead of just the base game, I think this is where that comes from. It's been many a moon, so I don't quite remember. And then the skate park, I think we used it before. Let's use it again. We used it last episode. Skate parks near high school. That seems kind of like a practical thing, I think, right? Okay, and then going back to the park vibes over here. We've got from the Park Life DLC, this thing here. I love this. The tropical garden. That's a nice one. Put that right through here. Yeah, and let's bring some pathways in. Okay, we'll fence this a little bit in here. We'll put in a row of trees, and I'm going to use the colored fun ones. then we'll put a playground behind the school. I think I might put one more tree in there, but a different colored one. And if you want more of a uniform look, just keep plopping the one over here till the size you want is next, or the color. So yeah, some of them are more muted than others. The only palm tree in the city? No, no, no. I mean, maybe. I'm not sure if we're in the right climate for it, though. That's nice. And yeah, just like right in here, let's put in a playground. A dog park might be nice too, actually. Large playground, very nice. And then let's do a back little way in. We'll pretend there's like a gate or something so the kids just can't run loose. Connect that over here. And let's see if we can like get all of this talking. And then we'll put in some fences. Do this first. Why both pathways? Just to get some lighting. I think it looks kind of fun having some variety. And when I say lighting, I mean the cement pathway is going to have some lamps on it. Okay, let's see if we can put some fencing in through here. And we'll pretend like, it's a gate or something here so the kids don't just suddenly run off in the middle of recess. And I think we can probably put a fence around here too. Maybe put one little business right there. And let's keep this open in case we unlock some more stuff in the future. Quite like that, though. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit. We got some money again. Do some more zoning in here. Sorry, I mentioned high density again. I didn't really do too much high density zoning. Like, I want to stress again, it's a massive difference between trying to do little pockets of some fun high density here so you don't feel like you're getting overwhelmed and claustrophobic. Right, like we haven't really even established the downtown per se, right? Definitely nothing wrong with having like multiple of these pockets come up, throughout the city. I just don't really think like you should be converting all of this over to become high density as a method to grow your population. You could, again, if you're in a pinch, you're looking for some milestones, you want to break records, you want to have like the one tile city challenge or something like that, right? But I think if you're looking for like realistic city growth, not everything is going to be high density, right? It might logically make sense to eventually become high density. Like cities have to increase in density, right? You can only go so far for so long, right? Sometimes you run out of like physical room. You hit a lake, you hit a boundary, you hit an ocean, you hit a mountain, you hit another city. So then what happens, right? You have to go, density has to go up. Unfortunately, condo sizes go down, apartments go down. Homes that are being built within the city itself are a little bit smaller. They're smaller and taller. A lot of those vertical builds. Okay, I think I got a little bit distracted again. Let's get back into services. I don't think we got them all down. We still need some police and some fire over here. Just trying to get the population moving, though. But yeah, school, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. I think I might put down just a library. If that fits in this piece right here. Oh, man, that would have been so perfect. It still technically fits, you know what I mean? But almost had it. Let's move this actually a little bit further down. That also would have been a great spot. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. And let's change this over. And then I think what I'm going to do, this might seem crazy. Let's just do this to get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that, and then connect these two. Buttes. I like that a lot. And then that could be fencing along here. And this could be someone else's property or something later, right? Yeah, that's really fresh. That's really, really nice, actually. Great little use of the spot. Okay, police and fire, please. I don't think we need the big fire station over here yet. I might save that for like downtown only. I'd rather probably put down 2 of these to get a little bit better coverage than 1 of these. Even though theoretically this has like a larger coverage zone, I'd rather just have like, you know, 1 of these here and say like 1 of those like near the intersection versus like 1 big one. And I'll put these near roundabouts, that kind of stuff, right? So that's basically this area here covered. You know, and if we've got one like near that roundabout, I'd argue that like if a fire comes, they might get dispatched from here too, you know? And vice versa, so we can put one over here. And at least that's just enough money in 1 second to buy the police station. And I think that's good for our services. And, you know, police, we're keeping people happy. We're keeping them, you know, well-fed. They're educated. Everything's going well with that. And as you can see, we're not really doing all that much crime. We got a pretty crime-free city here. Here, police and our fire station can be friends. Let's bring some power over to these guys. Cool, very fun expansion. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised at how well this is actually coming together. And what are we doing? You know, we're kind of keeping the arterial road flow. Right, we've extended this. We're getting some more use out of the interchanges. We've got roundabouts to help with traffic. Wider roads to help with traffic too. We're going a little bit deeper in. So we're kind of bypassing some of these side streets here. You know, if you live here, you live here. If not, you won't see too much traffic now, which is nice. We're entering the roundabout, which is connected to some more arterial roads. So it's pretty easy to get around still. This one is getting maybe a little bit too much traffic, so we can kind of keep an eye on this. This corridor here can be switched over to a one-way system. If you wanted to force people to use this, that becomes one-way going down. Right? Or we can just take a look at the routes, get an idea of as to what people are doing and where they're going. That's a lot of action going this way instead of going up. Oh, you know why? Of course, because of the one-way here. Of course. Interesting. All right, well, that's good food for thought, right? So then we could theoretically counter this with a one-way that goes down, and then this one becomes one-way that goes up. I think we're okay now for the moment, right? But just, that's cool. Good to learn. You know, how do we also fix that? Two-way traffic here. Monitor your traffic. That was a fun little discovery. And then, yeah, we're leaving spaces open. We're, you know, putting down the parks, putting down the services. We're leaving spots for some backyards and some detailing. Haven't gone too tall, which is nice. We got a few bigger buildings, which is kind of cool too. I think the bigger buildings, bigger infrastructure kind of works better with you know, your high density pockets. Yeah, we're slowly getting there. And it just feels like, I don't know, every episode especially, we're making big jumps. Big jumps to slowly get there. It's kind of a weird thing to think about. Yeah, I think our next goal is going to be try to push to 14,000. So next episode, let's just keep on moving. Let's start building up in here too. Do some more bridges. We'll try and have a kind of a fun fusion in terms of the shapes and the lines we're doing here. And we got to think of a way to creatively get over top here. And I think what's going to happen is this is going to become a bridge. This is going to sneak underneath the bridge, and I might try a little itty-bitty urban in-town highway interchange thing right here, which could be kind of cool. And then again, I want to use the bigger campus DLC that we unlock like way down the road, and that's at 26,000 people. And to keep us going for university jobs and that kind of stuff, we're going to build a small little mini sub-campus over here, right in front of the waterfall, which looks very nice. Okay, well, I think I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Not a bad episode. Not a bad episode. Hopefully this kind of helps get the inspiration going. Also, you know, in terms of shape, right? Like, we're keeping the grid. It's easy to follow along, easy to build off of, but now it's a grid that's like almost a 45-degree angle from the other grid. So it'd be kind of cool to mash these together and get them all connected. And we have the highway as a fun boundary. So we can be a little bit forgiving with the symmetry. And we're getting close to getting some rails through here. Definitely want to get a rail corridor, I think, kind of sneaking on through here. I think really what we're going to do is have one... Oh, as we end off here. So I think my plan is to have a rail go down here, follow along, maybe go to the island, and we're going to do essentially a ring road. So we're going to have another rail go through here, and then just follow, and then meet up with this. So rail like that, rail down here, and then we'll have metro that kind of cuts across. It makes like maybe an X or something through the city. Still a little bit early for that kind of planning, but I'm starting to think about it. All right, guys, I'll leave you here. Thank you very much again for all the support, watching. We'll be adding some names to the district soon, so keep an eye on that. And we'll be doing our first little cinematic video soon, too. Probably after episode 10 for that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I'll see you again. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Share some pictures, too. I love seeing what you guys are up to. Follow me on Twitter. You know, tweet stuff at me. Sorry if I miss it. A lot of stuff comes in these days. I love seeing it, though. I feel like I have the digital fridge, and I want to add more and more things to it, you know? So just keep sending stuff. I'm always just so excited. And it's really, 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 really awesome. Like, I don't mean this in the worst way at all, right? Like, please don't take this bad. But to see some of you go from, like, these dumpster fire cities, I mean that with love. I had them, too. My cities were terrible in the beginning. But to see your progression, and especially because we took such a long gap, some of you have been sharing screenshots in the Discord. I am blown away. You guys are, like, amazing at this game. Like, I guarantee you, like, a lot of you are way better than me at this point. I'm really good at the basics, right? But some of you, the detailing, like, I'm impressed. Like, you guys should be making your own content at this point, you know what I mean? All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. You're all wonderful. Stay creative, stay happy, stay healthy. Happy building. We'll see you guys again. All the best.